don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. Yes, I would love to have a degree. However, I don't feel that I need one to be able to do what I want to do in life. I don't know, I always feel that when you want to do something, do it. My life is effectively just grips, football, my partner, and the gym.
Like a partner came in third.
That's right. If you wait for someone to tell you the answer, that's time lost. You need to go out there and find the answer that you're looking for, chap on the right doors. But no, keeping meaningful connections is very important, and that's something that I will not compromise on.
Seasonal discussions is underway. Don't know why we've started this, but we have. This is Season Media's opportunity to give back to local businesses in Aberdeen, because screw it, why not? Not enough people are doing it, and we think they deserve it. And our first guest, our very first victim, I suppose we could call him, is none other than Adam. Is it Joji?
Joji. Yeah,
Joji, it is. From GRPZ Sports.
Yes, correct.
Right, before we go any further, GRPZ, GRPZ. Why GRPZ?
So we effectively took the word grip and just made it cool. that's all we really did.
Can't really argue with that.
Wanted to keep it as relevant to the name grip as possible. And what other way to do it than call it grips?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Right, for anyone who doesn't know or hasn't seen the trailer and the build up to this, the idea is local businesses are great. Local people are even better behind the business. Anyone who logs on to social media or any form of promotional thing will see grips and know exactly what the business and the brand is. We want to get to know the person behind it. We want to know you. We want to know Adam, what led him to this point now and where he thinks he's going to go in future. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, for those who don't know, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
So I would quite like to describe myself who's been in the sports, health and fitness industry for quite some time. So as far back as my memory goes, I've been kicking a ball.
Fair.
Actually, absolutely love playing football, love keeping myself healthy and fit. So what better way to start a company than to do it with something that I love, which is effectively sports socks. So just to give you a bit of background on the company, so GRPZ Sports, what we effectively specialise in is performance sports socks, socks that are proven to enhance an athlete's performance and reduce their risk of injury just by fully eliminating slippage between their foot and shoe. And from that allows them to be a little bit more explosive, sharper, agile, more stable as well, have full control over their foot movement. So myself being in the sports industry, it's just a match made in heaven, should I say? But it's just I feel that there was no better company to start than something within the sport.
Did you think it was something that was like maybe missing a little bit in the? Because I mean, you're a big lad. You're like me. You're 6 foot plus. Admittedly, carrying slightly lesser in the midsection than I am, but that's fine. I don't judge. Is that something that you feel like was necessary, like a market that was kind of a niche little thing for you to target and get into?
Yeah, absolutely. So playing football for quite some time now. GRPZ socks only came about not that long ago. And the products that were out on the market, they were either too expensive or you wear them a couple of times and your toenail rips through them, or or just the quality's not up to standard. And so I wanted to find something that was in the middle. So with the product just now, it's at a reasonable price. It's at a very affordable price for the customer, but they're also getting the durability that they need. Again, the products out there, they only half solve the problem. So what you'll find is they tend to have grips on just the outside of the sock. Your foot can still slide from your foot to the sock. So we then added in that feature and again made it affordable for the customer. Now the durability of the product, now the customers can get about a year's use out the sock. It's great for them, but not for me.
No, I do.
No, absolutely. But at the end of the day, we're glad we've made the product that we made.
So you're obviously a local lad. Anyway, whereabouts in Aberdeen were you from originally?
So born and raised in West Hill.
West Hill?
Yeah, West Hill. So went to
high class. The high class level of customer straight away.
I wouldn't say so. So born and raised in West Hill. Went to Aldic Primary School, West Hill Academy. But just before I went to West Hill Academy, I actually went to boarding school in Nigeria for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, taught me how to cook.
Whereabouts in Nigeria was it, the boarding school?
So it was a place called Minna.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty central. Now don't quote me on that, because my
people watching this straight on the map going,
no,
right,
it's not.
Wait a minute.
Brilliant. But so I went to a boarding school in Minna for 2 years and then came back, done 2 years at West Hill Academy and then went straight into working from then. So from Academy I then went in to be an apprentice vehicle technician for Aberdeen Volvo. Love cars, love fixing cars, but again, hate being on the hate being on the tools in sort of I would say in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
So once I realized that wasn't for me, I then went into my memory. Everything just started from grips.
It's just like, we're here. How the hell did I get here?
Focus on the present. So from then, I went into being a part sales advisor. No, sorry, a sales executive for John Clark Motor Choice.
Yeah. And
then from then, again, being so young, I must have been about 19, working effectively 6-7 day weeks, long hours. It's not great for a 19-year-old. And don't get me wrong, the money's great, but at the end of the day, I felt that my social life and personal life was taking a hit. Working in the motor trade, I have to work Saturdays, therefore I cannot play football. So again, the football took a back step a little bit. But once I left that, then went in to be a part sales advisor. Done a little stint at Amazon doing delivery, being a delivery driver, just to keep the cash flowing in. And then from then went into part sales. After that part sales job, was there for about a year. Then went into recruitment. Recruitment was great, but things didn't work out at the company, unfortunately. And then from then, I was just like, right, I'm gonna do something that I've effectively always wanted to do. I'm going to be a personal trainer. I'm going to help people get fit, which is something that I truly believe in and something that I absolutely love. My clients would probably tell you that it's concerning how much I like being in the gym.
Every day they're in there like, hang on, was he still here? Has he gone home yet?
Brilliant. But no, being a personal trainer now and having grips as well, it ties in and it couldn't be.
So did you come straight out of academy, straight into work then? There was no like higher education, there was no college, no university?
So I just wasn't the person who could sit in a class and learn, although I would have loved to. It just wasn't my style. And I think it's becoming a lot more common nowadays to understand that not all students can just sit in a class and just take in and retain information. So just wanted to get my hands on doing something, actually getting a bit of real life experience rather than just learning, again, the most common thing people will say, learning Pythagoras and never using it again every day in your life. Now, not discrediting school at all, is it does give you a very, very good foundation of skills into what you want to do next. So learning in a classroom is just never for me. I prefer to learn off my own back, and it's great that we have things like YouTube that you can learn absolutely anything nowadays.
There's so, I mean, even, I don't know if do you ever watch The Apprentice?
No. So
there was a guy who was on it this year who started his own 3D animation company, completely self-taught. 6 months of getting started, self-taught on all the 3D animation stuff, and has gone from doing that, not actually gaining any qualifications at university, and then found himself on The Apprentice in front of Lord Alan Sugar. So kind of, you're right, that self-taught aspect of being able to go online, find something and go, this is what I want to do, I'm going to teach myself. Have you ever thought about going back? Like, now that you go into it, obviously you've been doing your own thing for a while, have you thought about possibly going back into education? Because I'm in my 40s, believe it or not. And I'm just coming out of education now. I went back when I was like 39. Is it something you think you might revisit in the future, or is that you now? Nah, I'm done with the education side. It's finished.
So I feel that everything happens for a reason. If you were to ask me if I wanted to go back and change the way I left school, yes, I would have went back and left with more qualifications. I would have preferred to do that. However, if I did that, I might not have been in this position that I'm in today.
Very true.
Would I go back to do education again? I'd love to have a degree. However, the majority of people who have degrees, now again, don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure. I feel there's a lot of people who have degrees in a discipline and end up working in a completely different discipline. So to me, that's 4 years of my life that I could have been learning a skill and effectively generating an income from it. So it's a bit of it's a bit of a weird one. Yes, I would love to have a degree. However, I don't feel that I need one to be able to do what I want to do in life. A lot of things you can do nowadays without having that bit of paper that says you have done this. So it's a bit of a weird one.
I get it. I've heard a lot of a degree gets you an interview at best. I mean, people will see a degree on the thing and it might get you to the stage of from applying to an interview, but the degree's not going to get you the job at the end of the day.
If I was to ask you this, would you say you were taking on a member of staff? Would you rather have someone who had the degree that says that they they work in this, or would you rather someone that says they had 4 years experience doing exactly what you're
Do you know what
you're looking for?
I am a firm believer in people over everything else. So whatever it says on a bit of paper, I don't care. I'm with you. I don't look at it. And again, don't take this as heart to heart, kids.
Yeah.
It's not a definitive, here's me with a 19-year-old son, stop studying. Meanwhile, at home, go back to school, do a thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's that, I think people can gain so much more. When I was 5, I was working in my dad's newsagent.
Yeah.
I mean, right the way through, as soon as I finished the academy, 16 years old, I was working in a shoe shop. I was doing everything I could, and I only went back to education later because I thought maybe I can get something out of it. But there is nothing more valuable than that real world experience that you speak about, of going out and actually doing something, getting to know something by doing it, as opposed to sitting in a, yes, you'll learn a lot sitting in a classroom.
Yeah.
But 50% of what you probably learn in a classroom will actually apply to what you do further forward. And you could have learned that in a year by going out and doing it in the real world instead of sitting in a class for 4 years.
Well, absolutely. If I went to university to study, let's say, international business for 4 years, that would have, now my business is coming up to its 3rd year.
Yeah.
And I know that my business would be a lot further in the next year and a half than if I went to uni for 4 years and then tried to start it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel that when you want to do something, do it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely do it. Don't wait. Don't unless obviously there's an obvious circumstance like you want to run a marathon and your right leg's broken. Then
you might have to wait a little bit for that.
Then there's a bit of reason. However, if you want to do something and if you believe you can do it, that's the most important thing. Believe you can do it. If you want to do something, anything is achievable. Yeah. That is a motto that I always follow, and that is actually at the back of our products. If you put your mind to it, anything is achievable. And I do hope to prove that to individuals when Grips gets to a certain stage, that the I want to say the little guy, the little boy from West Hill done this. Yeah. So anybody can do it.
It's a good way to look at this. I follow a particular sort of psychological line by a guy called Alfred Adler.
Okay.
And it's very much on a, if you want, like, never say you can't do something, just accept that it's something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And instead focus on what you do want to do. That ability to say, because when you say can't, it's like a negative thing of, I can't really do that now. You're trying to justify it to yourself. Whereas if you just say, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. Yeah. There's that positive aspect of, no, this is what I want to do, so that's where my time and energy is going. So like you with Grips, it's, I want to do something for myself. I don't want to go back into education because it doesn't work for me. I want to do this. And it's led you to where you are now, which is pretty successful. Grips has done quite well. You might say it's only been 3 years and there's still loads to go, but it's pretty big so far, right?
So for 2.5 years, we're making a lot of noise in a lot of the right places. All we're trying to do is just grow the brand as much as we can, just to make it a globally recognized brand where we've got millions of customers around the world. Right now, we're very much so United Kingdom and USA. So 36% of our sales comes from the United States, and the rest comes from not Aberdeen. The rest comes from United Kingdom. Yeah. In our first year, everything was AB postcodes. Yeah. AB postcodes, and then when we partnered with Livingston St Mirren and Wraith Rovers, which I will add, they were absolutely fantastic. Reached out to them to see if we could do something with the company. They were like, look, we're not going to take anything from you. We just want to help you. Nice. Which for a top flight football team to hear, that was it was very, very receptive. So again, I don't think I could thank them enough for doing that. It's those 3 partnerships that took the brand from this unknown brand to fairly recognised in Scotland. From then, we've now just secured a few partnerships with England, so you could probably do the maths. It went from AB postcodes to G postcodes to E postcodes. And
slowly working your way south.
Just working our way. Just a lot more south. When you did mention doing it for myself. Yeah, it's great to be able to be my own boss and other things like that. However, I'm an individual who really likes to help people. It's just in my nature. That my mum probably drilled it into me with a slipper. So
literally drilled into you.
But helping people is, I don't know. It just brings me so much joy. Hence, becoming a personal trainer. It's helping people fall in love with fitness. There is this whole idea that to be healthy and to be fit, you need to be eating grass 5 days a week. You don't. It's everything's about balance.
Yeah. You were telling me you had a fried egg for your breakfast this morning.
Well,
so
that was just my treat.
Oh, I could go on egg. Anyway, distracted myself at dinner time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's giving people motivation to do things. And to be fair, I have heard that about you beforehand. So although we don't know much about you, I've been chatting to a couple of individuals who know you.
How much do you know?
Not a lot. Admittedly, the bribes that I sent to them should be just clearing out the bank account now, so I've got time to cancel them. No, we were actually chatting to Keith from Business Gateway, who is aware of you, is familiar with your stuff. And everyone that we have reached out to, I'm not going to dump them into the things in the comments, but for those we have reached out to, thank you. Everything that we hear back about you as an individual is positive.
Thank you.
It's that energy that you bring to what you do that I think makes a massive difference. And I'm sure anyone listening to this or watching this can sense that you give off that vibe of just, I'm happy, I'm doing things that I want to do and I'm enjoying myself. You spoke about playing football and stuff as an enjoyment. What do you do now? Outside of grips, outside of personal training, what's like a casual relaxation thing? What do you do to enjoy yourself just now?
Sauna at David Lloyd's. It is the best sauna in the city, hands down. It is phenomenal. But
which one's David Lloyd's? Is that the one up
Garthy by RGU?
Yeah, I thought so.
So my life is effectively just grips, football, my partner, and the gym.
I think her partner came in third.
That's right. She's probably
she's watching this now going, sorry, what?
So most like my partner grips. Grips, David, the gym. I absolutely love the gym. I love keeping fit. I love keeping healthy. But that's pretty much my life on repeat. Obviously catch up with friends here and there. But no, football is just...
You still playing?
Yeah. So
who are you playing for just now?
So Bridget Dawn Thistle. We're a junior semi-professional team in Aberdeen. Again, growing up, just wanted to be a footballer. That's all I ever wanted to be. Just trying, like as kids do. But being able to pivot from might be past it. What else can I do? Being able to pivot from. Right. I'll link it back to how we said. Just thinking about that now. I'll link it back to how we said if you put your mind to something, you will be able to do it. Back then, if you told me that I wasn't going to make it because I wasn't putting in the effort, it would have been like I'm doing everything I can. Yeah. But looking at everything now, it was like I didn't actually put in enough effort to try and make it into professional sports. I was way off it, absolutely way off it. Wasn't doing the extra training or anything like that. But
just thinking if you'd applied yourself a bit more.
If I applied myself, again, we don't know. Maybe I could, maybe I could have got there, maybe I couldn't have. Maybe just the technical ability was never there. Who knows? But I know now that I did not put in enough effort to almost fulfill my dreams back then. But again, it all leads you to this point. Now I'm embedded in the sports, health and fitness industry. I'm embedded in the football. I'm using those football connections to take Grips, which is effectively a sports brand, into the sports industry. So again, it is weird how everything always just aligns, but you need to connect the dots. You can't just sit and say, I don't know, I want to hit 1 million by 30 and just...
Sit back and wait for it.
Go to work every day. Unless your work's paying you significantly well, then
exactly. Unless you're a minimum wage, paying no bills and doing nothing and putting every penny into the bank.
Exactly. Then it's being realistic about if you put your mind to it, anything is achievable.
You say about maybe the natural skills weren't there, but I mean Joey Barton was a professional footballer, and I don't think there was any natural talent or skills involved in that. So you'd have probably been all right. I don't think natural talent comes into it with some people. That mindset is everything. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people could learn. Is just that apply yourself to something, and it's not to say that everyone is capable of anything. But it is to say that if you put your mind to what you want, you are capable of going out and at the very least trying to live the way you want to live. There's nothing... I mean, Chris, we started this place on a whim. I mean, Season Media came out of nothing. 2 months ago, the company didn't exist. And it's just, we went, screw it, we want to do it, we'll try it, go out and do it. And you've got nothing to lose by trying.
Absolutely.
Everything to lose by not trying, including your own confidence in yourself.
I saw a really good quote that someone who goes to the gym regularly will never judge you for starting the gym. Someone who runs a business would never judge you for running a business. That's also something to really keep in mind when you feel like you'll be judged for doing something. Those who are doing it they probably wouldn't say that. They would
Yeah.
they would probably try help you. The 9 out of 10 people would probably try to help you if they were in that position, because the chances are they were effectively in your shoes.
Everyone's been there.
Exactly. Look at Ben Francis. He would have started from nothing.
Yeah.
People like Stephen Bartlett, they've all started from nothing.
Yep.
And now they are something.
They're massive now for what they were before. It's that, if you wouldn't take advice from someone, don't take criticism from them.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not going to listen to the positive stuff they would tell you, then why would you listen to the negative stuff that someone's saying about you?
Yeah, and something that I'm also quite big on is, for example, you could sit and give me ideas about grips and I will be very receptive to it. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be taking advice from someone who's not in your position. Yeah. Again, it's like trying to learn how to play football from an F1 driver.
Yeah.
It's not going to work, unfortunately.
Exactly.
However, you should always listen to what people have to say. I'm quite against shutting people down for trying to help you, because at the end of the day, they're genuinely trying to help you, unless it's obvious criticism for something that's got nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
So, but again, it might just be my perception on people. I just feel people do genuinely want to help most of the time.
How did you find, it's obviously coming into it, it's a niche industry, I suppose. A lot of people might look at it as it's clothing, it's fashion, it's whatever it is, but it's still quite niche sports oriented. How did you find sort of others within that genre of what you moved into? Were people quite receptive to it? Did you get a lot of advice from other sort of small business owners?
And was that to a grip sock, or?
Yeah, to the grip side for starters, but obviously the PT side as well.
So with the PT, so I currently personal trainer at David Lloyd's.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of experienced personal trainers there, and they're all great. They've probably been a lot of silly questions from me at times, but they're so receptive whenever I need advice on something. I ask them and they're more than willing to help.
That's good.
But for business advice, obviously started with Business Gateway, then just started to work with various different people who have almost bought the t-shirt and wore the jumper. People who have done it. They're the best people to get advice from, people who are in the position that you want to be in. But for grip socks especially, it's someone who runs a business can't give me direct advice on how to make a grip sock.
Yeah.
But what they can do is they can tell me how to build a product, how to source the materials, and how to manufacture it. No one's going to give you the complete blueprint. You need to take the bits here and there and put it together to make it work.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, you need to know how to pivot as well.
Yeah.
If something's not working out, just know that, right, what can I do to make it work? What other avenues I can try?
That's code for, if this seasonal discussions doesn't go well, we'll be launching another video-based podcast series afterwards. we'll pivot away and start doing something else. But that's that self-awareness.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about being confident in what you're doing. Confident in what you're doing also means having that confidence in yourself to change if you have to. Like, everyone does it in life. Why wouldn't you do it in business? Why wouldn't you do it in work? You're never too old to start again. You're too old to keep doing stuff that isn't working for you.
Yeah.
And I think that applies with business as well. A business is never too old that it can change what it's doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I am doing everything I can to make grips work, to get grips to be in that sort of that globally recognised sports and athletics sock specialist. So if you want Pilates socks or football socks or socks for your gym or high rocks, I'll go to grips.
Yeah.
However, some things don't work out, and I have to accept that. But I will know if it ever gets to that, which at this point in time I doubt it will. Yeah, is that I'll know that I've done everything I can. I've put in the hours. I've reached out to people. I've done absolutely everything I can in my power to try and make it work. But if it doesn't, I love personal training. So,
do you think you would do anything like different if you didn't have the personal training? Do you think grips would be further ahead than it is now, or do you think the two are working quite well to keep you busy time-wise?
So absolutely. Yes and no. Yeah. No, I know I hate answering questions like that, but
fence sitting.
So just to give you my sort of breakdown on that. Yeah. So if I was working for grips alone, then I would be taking a wage from grips. Yeah. Now, what's the average wage in the UK just now? Is it 25, 30?
Something like that, yeah.
So let's just say if it's 25, 30 grand a year. Now, if I was reinvesting...
There's people watching this going, I wish that was as hard as that.
So if I was investing that into grips, then it's getting a lot further. Yeah. But I'm working. I'm not able to just keep that 25, 30 grand in grips. I'm also able to invest more money into grips. Whereas, So whereas if I was just at the company, I'd be taking that from the company. So there is an aspect of me that does believe, yes, if you give something more time, it's obviously going to be a lot further. But business works with cash. If our cash flow is not great, then we can't get as far as we want to get to. Yes, I could be a lot more smart with our sales and marketing. I could do a lot more myself. However, we live in a world where things like influencer marketing and social media marketing is where people buy their products.
Yeah.
I can't go chap on a door and be like, hi, do you want to buy some?
A new form of door-to-door window sales.
I think I would get the police called on me, unfortunately.
Just rock it up with a pair of socks and a high jacket.
Exactly. Although I'm quite convinced that I would come away from the day with a few sales.
I think you would.
Yeah, absolutely. I might need to try it after this, actually.
See if I get a knock on my door now. You were looking through the people, checking the ring doorbell, going, my delivery of grips, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that milk van turning up at the door, but it's just a trolley full of socks and bladder. Obviously, you've got like partnerships already with grips with some other sports teams. Obviously, you mentioned like Wraith Rovers, Livingston, and so on and so forth. Is it just the football side that you've been able to get partnerships with so far, or you mentioned obviously the option of looking into other sports, diversifying slightly? Is that something that's in the works? Is it something you're thinking about trying, or are you just kind of hoping that what you've got now will naturally lead to that?
Yeah, so again, there's no hoping. It's everything strategic. Yes, you do hope things would get to a certain stage. However, if I hope something would happen, then I've not done enough work. I've not done enough work to make it happen.
Reinforcement, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So football is our primary market. Again, my background's football. I find it a lot easier to resonate with individuals in football clubs. However, we are now pivoting to we will eventually release a Grips Reformer Pro sock, but the next socks to come out is the Grips Workout Pro. So we are looking for partnerships with clubs out with football, but we're at the stage where the brand is, yes, locally the brand is known. Yeah, we are growing in the United Kingdom. We're not a globally recognised brand yet. Yeah, like not everyone's going to look at the Grips logo and be like, I know who they are. I know what they do. So partnering with football clubs, seeing a football club and a football badge, it's almost gives you that automatic trust in your head because football is a globally recognised sport. Yep. So
biggest in the world. Screw you, America.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it effectively is. The statistics prove it that football is.
Oh, gotcha.
It is the most popular sport in the world.
Amount of people who watch World Cup finals and European Champions League finals and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what better way to build our brand credibility than saying Grips is a partner of Wycombe Wanderers, Wycombe Wanderers FC. That is growing our presence, not just amongst the Wycombe Wanderers and the Wycombe Wanderers fan base, but also in that sort of London region as well. Yeah. If we put an ad up and people see the Grips badge and then they also see the Wycombe badge, they're going to be like, well, that's a trusted
that fits.
Yeah, that's a trusted sports team. Yeah. So they must trust them as well. So it builds us that brand credibility that we're looking for. Now we're building and we're growing every day, but it's finding those little things we can do just to put trust into the customer's mind, because at the end of the day, you don't always fully trust a new business, but with these football clubs are helping us do that. So. Yeah,
we know the feeling. Again, people trusting that new brand is something, which is why we want to do things like this, is because we believe that people will connect with people. People, you've mentioned about the joke of you're not going to go door to door selling these things, but have you gone down and met with like the clubs that you have got partnerships with? Have you gone down and met with them personally?
Yep. So I've met with all of them bar two. No, so I've met with all of them bar one. So one of the most recent ones I did with Burnley, who we've just recently announced that we're official academy partners of Burnley. Yeah. I just recently went to one of their Dude Perfect international youth tournaments. Yeah. So being able to sort of set up a stall and explain to people why Grips is what it is, what makes our sock better than what's already out there. The sales we got from that alone was a lot better. So I fully agree with what you're saying. People buy from people. Yeah. But if I was to go and try knock on everyone's door to try to try turn it into a multi-million-pound company, it's going to take me a long time.
I think that personal connection from youth makes such a difference to what Grips is as a brand, because you care about the product, not just the brand and the company. You care about the product and the people that you're selling it to. You care about the perception that people have of the product, not of you, not of grips as a whole necessarily, but of the product that you're putting out. And I think anytime I can't imagine a single club contacting Grips, wanting to know more about it, you turning up, and them not agreeing to the deal.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because you have that passion for what you're doing that I think is missing from so many different things. Like there's so many people will go and have an idea for something, go and do it, but not really have that commitment or that passion for what they're doing. Your passion for everything that you're doing is so obvious. It's insane, but it's in the best way possible. Like I'm sitting here now going, have I got any grip socks? I've not bought a pair before. I'm a golfer as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
And I have seen like a couple of times in the past of people being like, yeah, they've got a pair and they play out in the golf course.
Yeah.
I keep thinking, why haven't I got any?
So theoretically, especially with your golf, grips eliminate slippage between your foot and shoe.
Yeah.
I'm only going to imagine that with golf, if you're swinging down and your foot slides inside your shoe,
Oh, you're goosed.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely done.
That's your stability gone.
Yep.
That's your aim gone, and probably a reduction in power as well.
Oh God, yeah.
So by not just having the physical benefits, but the psychological benefits of knowing that I can put as much power as I want into this, and I know that my feet are going to stay planted to the floor.
Yeah.
Because anything we do, our feet need to be planted to the floor. Unless you're a gymnast flying through the air. Then when you land...
You still need that something.
Yeah. Well, you'll still need that something. But it's just... I just truly believe in the product, and I truly believe that it can make people be better.
Yeah.
I feel that there's almost a motivation missing nowadays that people can be good enough if they put their mind to it.
Yeah.
And anything is achievable.
Yeah.
So by wearing grips, you also align with our brand values that no matter what you do, just give it your best and you will succeed. Yeah. And again, if you don't succeed, pivot and come back and try again.
Yeah. Your brand values, from what I can get and what I'm sure people watching can get as well, are it's not just about these are your values.
Yeah.
I feel like these are your values that you're applying to the brand. It's not like you've gone, what values work for the brand? It's what values do I have as a person that can also apply to the brand. Not necessarily that defines the brand, but defines you and then makes that connection between you and what you've started. You are genuinely an inspiring individual. That's not me blowing smoke up your arse, apologies. But it's a genuine thing. So that's something I'm getting away from this, is that's... I'm kind of glad you've came and sat down with us. I'm inspired to go and do stuff.
Ready to go run a 5K. No. Not that inspired.
But I might roll downhill.
I will also say I haven't always been like this.
Yeah.
As you turn into a teenager, you start drinking every weekend. Start doing all sorts. And if you said to me that I was going to be in this position that I am today, I probably would have just laughed and went down to the pub and ordered that.
You still go out quite a bit now? Do you socialise quite a bit, or are you a teetotal individual now?
Yeah,
Strike me as a teetotal person.
So ish. So
only on days that end in Y.
So I've not drank this year yet, but I tend to like going out in December, because December's when like everyone's out. Like you've got your works night out, you got your football night out.
That's
like,
fair.
Don't get me wrong, I love a night out. I love sort of socialising and bonding with people, but not from January to November.
One of the 12. Yeah. One of the 12 is fine.
Absolutely, but no, still in touch with all of the friends all the friends I've actually had since primary and secondary school. Yeah, we're all still in regular contact. Catch up with them here and there, but yeah, quite like to see my part.
So I'm a firm believer. See, my socialising, I was going out on the golf course. I've been teetotal since 2014.
Okay.
I think it'll be 11 years this year. And that was drink, drugs, alcohol, the whole lot. Everything just got knocked on the head at once. And I now find socialising is just a chore. Yeah. I cannot go out and I've gone out with people before and even sitting in a golf club on a Saturday after a round, I'm like, I'll sit by the window by myself for a couple of hours instead. Put a coffee and a sandwich in front of me and let me watch everything out the window. How do you find the time to socialise for anything else? Where PT, grips, partner, football. got to keep their third in the list.
Of course, yeah.
How do you find time to socialise? Do you think it's quite difficult for you to find time, or do you feel that it's important for you to make time to go out and do?
Absolutely. So there's studies, and I can't remember what it was called. I would love to quote who it was by, but it was basically, long story short, someone got asked the people who were dying, this is so took a very dark turn. They got asked what made them happy.
Yeah.
It's effectively that they kept meaningful connections in their life.
Okay.
They're the people who died happy. So after hearing that, I always make the time for all my friends and all my pals here and there. Yes, our schedules don't always align, but there when you know that your friends that you can just literally just jump in a car and just drive somewhere and not say a word, and before you know it you're cracking up about all sorts. But no, keeping meaningful connections is very important, and that's something that I will not compromise on just now. You can almost feel it. If you went a month without seeing any of your pals, without seeing, let's say like your partner went away, if you went a month without seeing them, without socialising with any of your pals, you'll start to feel a little bit drained. Yeah. But then again, if you do it too much, then you're going to be like, right, I need
space.
I need time to myself. Yeah, but yeah, keeping meaningful connections with people is something that I'm very big on, and something that I would recommend that everybody does.
Yeah. See, I don't like friends from school. I have one that I've still got. Admittedly, my school doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay.
My school is now the Aberdeens Sports Village swimming pool on King Street.
Oh, wow.
It used to be an academy.
I never knew that. Oh,
yeah, it was Linksfield Academy when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ironically, it was one of the only schools in Aberdeen that had a swimming pool in it.
Okay.
So they knocked it down and turned it into a bigger swimming pool. Logic. Don't know why they chose to do that. But I've got like one pal that I still chat to from school, and he and I were brothers at school. But do you find now that if you do go those longer periods of time, when you do meet up with someone again, it just falls right back into the same routine?
Absolutely.
And yet somehow you could sit with someone for 3 hours, walk away afterwards, go home to your partner, and they'll be like, "So what was so and so up to with their life now?" No idea. But you've just spent 3 hours sitting with them.
Do you know,
no idea.
I think that's a boy thing as opposed to, I think that's a male thing as opposed to...
Just not a clue.
But
I could just sit with him for like 3 hours and be like, go home afterwards. What's he doing with his life now? Well,
what do you speak about? I can't remember.
No, don't know. Absolutely not a clue. We sat there and drank a coffee. Don't know what happened. His dad's all right. I know his dad's okay. He's been on holiday recently. Where did he go? Don't know.
I can't remember.
Just know he's been away. Do you like getting away for holidays? Is that
so? I've not been on holiday since 20. No, I need to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure it's 2016.
Jesus.
Was the last time I was on holiday. But I'm actually away on holiday soon. So
all right, okay.
Really excited for that.
Finally.
Really excited for that. So
where are you getting escaped to?
Gran Canaria. So that'll be a good one.
Aye.
Again, it's something that me and the partner booked some time ago. Yeah. So
just the two of you going away for a bit?
So just the two of us.
Best way to do it.
Yeah, I've taken my laptop though.
Just the two of us. All right.
Taking my laptop though, absolutely.
Yeah, can't switch off completely.
Yeah, I don't know, I just don't feel it's possible.
Yeah,
it's at the stage now where it's just, if I'm not working on grips, then I don't know, I'm losing my mind. If I'm not playing football, doing the 4 things that I do, if I'm not doing at least one of them, then I'm like, right, what am I doing? Yeah, what is going on?
I think you'll probably find that while you're away, depending on how long you're away for. If you're only away for a couple of days, fair enough. If you're away for like 7 to 10 days, once you start getting to the tail end of that bit, you're either in your element and doing less work, or you're stressed to the point where you're like, right, can we end the holiday and can I go home now? Back into what I'm doing. I can see you falling into that latter category of being like, right, I've been away long enough. There's only so much I can do on my laptop. Can I get back to the building now, please, and see what's going on?
Absolutely. But I just believe that when I go away, my mind will probably inevitably shut down a little bit. Yeah. So when I come back, I'm going to be significantly more productive, which would be...
That's that needed break, though, that needed time to just do nothing the entire time, or do one thing instead of 4.
Yeah, do some things. maybe a little bit more than one.
Do a thing.
Yeah, we've got an agreement that I'm allowed on my laptop at least an hour a day while she's reading her book by the beach. So that should hopefully be...
It's like giving kids dedicated iPad time instead of sitting home.
Well, literally, I've got iPad time on holiday. It'll be really good. So my first business actually started back in... It was during lockdown. Yeah. So I started a brand called J1 Fitness. That's when I first started personal training. Yeah. So got t-shirts made, bought them, brought them to the UK, tried to sell them, but got humbled very quickly. I just initially thought, you buy clothes, upload them to a website, people buy them.
Sell clothes.
Bob's your uncle. Yeah. Bob's your uncle. Buy this, put it there. But it was very, very humbling. I don't even think we made one sale from that. And
Still got a box at home of J1 t-shirts.
So I actually don't know where they are now. I'm pretty sure all my pals have inherited them somewhere. So it'll be divided out, in and amongst my pals. I'm sure there's t-shirts are still kicking about somewhere though. But yeah, that was a very, very humbling experience and realised, right, business isn't just, you don't just get there, because the people at the top, that's what they make it look like. They make it look like they just appeared there.
Like, they've been there the whole time. They went from nothing to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no path.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it was a very humbling experience. So went in to do a little bit of stuff on Amazon. So buying, selling products on Amazon. Got a little bit more business experience into how all your like SEO rankings work, how to actually market a product, how to use PPC campaigns and advertising campaigns to drive individuals from an ad to your product. Built up experience then, but Amazon FBA just, again, something that just wasn't quite hitting that fulfillment. And then from that, tried again phone cases, phone chargers, just to sort of build that sort of extra bit of income. And then just one day I was just using grip socks. I actually think my current football club, they gave me a pair of grip socks and I was using them, and I was just like, gosh.
Wait a minute.
I was like, there's something wrong here. Yeah. Went online to try buy a pair and they were just so expensive. And the other alternative, that they were very affordable, but they just didn't hit the mark. Yeah. So me being stubborn, me in my sort of entrepreneurial phase, I use product designers now. I did not design the product myself. Yeah. I gave design instructions into how to design the product. Again, I do not manufacture. I don't sit in my mum's house with a sewing machine.
Just sitting in the corner
to make these socks. Again, we use a factory to produce our socks. So it was knowing that how to utilize people who were a lot more skilled than me to be able to bring my ideas to life. And again, that's something that's very important. Richard Branson, he does say delegate to elevate, which is great. Now, I'm sure it's Richard Branson, but it might not. Someone like that.
We'll dub it over the top if it's not. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just replay the voice.
What we'll do is we'll record 3 extra bits now. Richard Branson, Stephen Bartlett,
Steve Jobs
was one of these dudes. Edit as appropriate.
Brilliant.
It's it's an interesting thing. But this is, a lot of people look at, okay, there's PT. No one would understand or realise just how much personal knowledge you've gone out and gained off your own back on the business aspect of everything that you do. I could sit here now and go, I didn't think you would be saying some of the things that you're saying to me now about the business side of things. Because it's, is it just you? Is there someone at the back advising you? Have you studied? Have you done this? But it's liberating for me to hear this is someone who's gone out and found the answers to the questions that he had. He hasn't waited for someone to give him the answers. He hasn't typed a question into ChatGPT just to get the answer. It is handy. I do use it for refining any LinkedIn post that I put up. I've typed it. I've fed it through something like ChatGPT to make it sound more professional, and then I'll upload it. Don't be scared of AI, for the love of God.
Absolutely. With AI just now, I feel that people are against it, but it automates a lot of things. Yeah. Like if you, for example, you can go on a Google search and go through various different forums just to find one answer, but you pop that into AI, it gives you that answer instantly. Yeah. Again, so I use AI just as like my assistant and advisor. But don't be scared of AI. Utilize it while you can.
Until the Terminators actually rise up, we're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Until Arnie actually comes back in time and appears somewhere naked and asks for your boots and your motorcycle, we're absolutely fine. Yeah. It's not going to happen. My partner and my son are both like digital artists, so they've got this big thing about like digital AI art, and I get it. It's companies or brands or people who put out AI generated stuff that don't acknowledge the fact that they've put out AI generated stuff. I think that's where a lot of the issues lie. Is if you're using AI, that's okay. You're literally using a tool that is designed to help you. But be honest about your usage of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, don't sit and go, I created this thing entirely by myself when you didn't. Yeah, You know, I mean, you're not going to put out a picture and be like, look, I painted the Da Vinci's Mona Lisa or whatever when it's blatantly obvious you haven't done the work. Just be honest about it. Or stop lying to us, for God's sake.
Yeah, the important thing about business is that you learn as you go.
Yeah.
It's not, again, as you mentioned, if you wait for someone to tell you the answer, that's time lost. You need to go out there and find the answer that you're looking for, chap on the right doors. Yeah. So we've been blessed that we secured investment from a syndicate, an Edinburgh-based syndicate called Apollo Informal Investments. Okay. So we use a guy called Mark Roger there. He's an investor director, but he's someone who's bought the t-shirt, wore the jumper, and an individual like Scott Johnson. If I have questions, I ask them. They're more than happy and more than willing to help.
Yeah.
There's someone who I imagine probably understands what I'm going through a lot better than I do.
Yeah.
So when I ask them, they tell me, yeah, I'll get a grilling from here and there, but but they mean it.
Oh God, it's him again.
But they mean it with good intentions. But,
yeah. I think that willingness of, I heard someone chatting about it the other day. I can't remember where it was. It might have been in fact, I think it was at like a cyber readiness conversation or something.
Okay.
It was this whole discussion about competitors, competitors in the market. And the guy says he doesn't look at, I think because he deals in cybersecurity, his competitors aren't other people who deal with cybersecurity. His competitors are the people who are trying to break into his product.
Yeah.
His competitors are the people who are trying to damage his worth. And it's such a different way of looking at things. Like people would ask us, as a media company, who's your competitor? And naturally, I'd be like, well, other media companies that are nearby, Farsight, Mearns and Gill, other people who do media stuff. And it's like, no, hang on a minute. These are peers that are actually willing to help.
Yeah, well,
and
exactly.
offer advice.
Yeah.
I think this word of competitors is far too loosely used for this. It's like, oh, they're a challenge that I'm facing. People in the same line of work that you're doing aren't necessarily your competitors. They're kind of your compatriots who are just at a different stage of the journey than you are.
Exactly. I would say out of again our two competitors.
Yeah.
So we kind of need all three, because one of them's the top price again for the elite athletes who can afford it, and then you also get a more affordable option. But we sort of bridge the gap in the middle. So you sort of need those three options to. In the market.
Exactly.
So, something that I always say is, again, why I broke into this. If I was to say to you that I needed like a sports top, then you'd probably know who to go to.
Yeah.
If I said I needed a new pair of running shoes, you'd probably know who to go to. But if I needed a pair of sports socks, you'd probably just get that as an optional extra at the till.
Yeah.
So the likes of like Nike, Adidas, they're not. I can never call them competitors.
No, exactly.
They are there. They are essential. All we want to do is just accessorize the things that they don't offer.
You're expanding the market that they're already in.
Exactly.
You're not trying to take over from them. You're not necessarily trying to compete at the same level. You're offering an additional thing to that. And you're fulfilling a need that a lot of people have, let's be honest. Again, it's a thing that people don't realise a lot of the time they need until they've actually had it.
Exactly.
You don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Exactly.
Same thing, if you wear a pair of grips and then try the same thing again without them, you're going to notice the difference. I think what you do is a massive credit to not just yourself, but to Aberdeen as a whole, if I'm brutally honest with you, because there's not enough positive stories told about Aberdeen's success stories that are succeeding beyond Aberdeen. There's a lot of success within Aberdeen for businesses, and if you were just doing well in Aberdeen, great. But the fact that you're taking what you've got and are now expanding, 36% of your sales being in the US, it might not sound like a lot to some people, but that's massive.
Yeah.
How easy have you found it actually shifting over to like appealing to that side of the pond, that bigger market beyond the UK?
So it was really odd the way it happened. So we've not actually spent a penny on paid advertising campaigns in the US. We got one order, and then from that, it was like almost just like growing arms and legs.
Yeah.
From that one order, it went to 3 orders, and then went to 5 orders, and then just expanded from there. Now 36%, we're not dealing with millions of pounds.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we will be.
Yet.
But yeah, still 36% of our revenue when we're a Scottish-based company it is great.
It's massive.
And it just shows how word of mouth play a part in our products. Again, the product is something that I'm very particular on. It had to be perfect in its own way before it even went out in the market, like all the products that we are going to release as well.
Yeah.
If they don't hit the mark, then unfortunately they won't hit the market.
That's fair. That's that pride in what you're putting out, and not necessarily about the brand, but you want to be confident in the product that the brand is putting out.
Yeah, if we're marketing something, and if we're saying this is a Grips product, then we need to be giving people the best that we can give them. We're not here to just turn a profit. We're not here to just rinse people's back pockets. We want to be able to give people the best of what we can do for what they're paying for. We don't want it to just be transactional. We actually want people to resonate with the product, hold it and be like, I'm really glad I bought this, which proves with our reviews. We'd have over, I think, just over 200 5-star reviews. With our ankle sock, we've had our reviews are 4.9. We got I think it was a 4-star review. No comment why. I would love to.
Love when they do that.
Yeah, I would love to find out why.
I love the ones that leave like 4-star reviews and go perfect, no complaints. It's like, why was it a 4 then?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the response from the customers who wear the product has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
We just need to find methods which we are, of getting it into more people's feet, but also being cost effective and just as efficient as we can.
So obviously there's a strategy in place. There's no hoping. There was a strategy and a plan in place for Grips to grow and continue to work it is. That's great, and people can find out all about it. What about for you? What's a personal thing that you're hoping to do over the next... I'm not going to do where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because, dear God, that question is so cliched and I can't stand it. I don't know what I'm doing 5 minutes after I leave the building from here. Where do you want to take yourself? Not where do you want to take the brands, not where do you want to take Grips or even the PT side of things. Where do you want to go to? What's next for Adam going forward?
So my goals are slightly different to what they were when I was 16.
Fair.
So I just want to get to a stage where me and my family can do whatever we want to do without having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Whereas my wife can take time off work if she needs to.
You've progressed from number 3 on the list as partner to now wife.
Speaking in the future, where my wife she can take time off work to do what she wants, but we don't have to struggle about paying the next bill or about how we're going to afford this or that. It's just to be almost just free to be able to do what we want and not have to worry about certain things, because the way the world's going nowadays, things are just getting more expensive and wages are getting less, so it becomes more and more difficult to live. It's like, how on earth are people are supposed to afford a house, like a 300 grand house, when they're earning 30 grand a year? Like, do you expect them to save their whole wage for 10 years without spending a penny? It's just not actually feasible. Back then, people were able to buy houses because what people were earning compared to how much things costed made sense, but the gap just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. So again, just wanting to break free from that cycle, to be able to just not worry about certain things and to be able to just give my family a good life.
And get married.
Apparently. but just to be able to give my family a good life and to be able to actually be there for my children. Is
the family still out in West Hill now?
Yeah. So
Everyone's still out that way. Do you see yourself staying in like Aberdeen in the Shire, or do you got aspirations to live elsewhere?
I could end up in anywhere.
Yeah.
Could end up down in Manchester, could end up in America, could end up absolutely anywhere. Just going with the flow.
Just go with it as it goes.
See where
I love that. Instead of being like, I want to live here, I want to live there, it's like, no, I just want to progress. And where I end up and I'm meant to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are genuinely a massive inspiration to so many people in the city, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that side of things. Here's hoping that Grips continues to grow the way it is, and with you behind it, I don't think there's any issues with that growing. And you never know, David Lloyd might get another PT customer. He lied. Not going to happen as we go forward. Before we wrap things up for this, I do have one very important question to ask you. Who would you like to see featured on an episode of Seasonal Discussions going forward? Okay.
Do you know who I think would be a really good guest?
Go for it. Gimme.
Ben Leonard.
Ben Leonard. Okay.
Have you heard of him?
No. Tell me more.
So Ben Leonard,
Ben.
he's basically it.
Okay.
So he's also Aberdeen based.
Yeah.
So he built up a company called Beast Gear.
Okay.
He bought it and he sold it. So he's effectively done the typical entrepreneurial journey, and he's released books. He's done talks. I think he's been on the same stage as Stephen Bartlett. Either spoke before or after him, but he's someone who has done it all. He's been through the whole process. But yeah, he'd be a great guest. Ben, get yourself.
I think he'd be all right slumming it coming into the office. Ben, you'll probably be tagged in this video as it goes live. Get in contact with us. Our contact details are somewhere on the screen. Where can people find out more about Grips or your PT side of things?
So if you had to
This is the plug time.
So on all our social media, it's at GRPZ Sports.
Yeah.
On our LinkedIn and Facebook, it's just GRPZ. So Grips in capital letters and sports. Yeah. And our website is www.grpzsports.com.
There you go. We'll put the links in the description and everything down below as well. And Adam, from us, thank you very much for coming in. And genuinely, mate, all the best with everything that you're doing. I don't think you've got anything to worry about when it comes to your businesses. As long as you have the energy that you do, good things are coming your way, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Doing as well. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.